Don't laugh. We have children and grandchildren. Do we not love teachers? I love them. Hug their necks every day. It's wonderful. All right, go ahead.
How exciting was that for Kim and the girls? Just probably won't get a better crowd, more enthusiastic crowd.
Somebody told me there was 12,000, over 12,000 paid attendance. What was that, Grant?
That's right.
On at 11 o'clock in the morning, and over 7,000 of them showed up.
12,490.
You got to love that. I don't know if those kids made us play the way we did defensively with intensity and focus. I don't know if it was the other team, which we have much respect for. That group won their league last year. They have international kids. They're well coached. But I felt a different vibe today. That vibe that you look for from your team on the defensive end of the floor, showing me that they're getting better individually, they're getting better collectively, and it was an enjoyable game to coach. Not that all of them aren't enjoyable, but I just saw some good stuff out there today. You got Kateri? The crowd. They want you to talk about the crowd.
I mean, it's 11 in the morning, and just being able to have, those kids there cheering us on and just being able to see us perform, I think we kind of fed off of that a lot, like Coach said, and, we just wanted to make it fun for them, and, we handled business.
Yeah, I would agree. It was a sense of, a lot of energy in the building. It gave me a boost of energy and my teammates another boost of energy. So it was just very exciting and appreciative that, they took the time to come early in the morning and cheer us on for this win.
Kim, you got pushed in the first quarter for the first time. Was that good for y'all?
I'm never going to say things are good when we get pushed, but I understand your question. I want to be the one doing the pushing. We responded. I will answer it that way. We responded, and I thought we responded in a way that we learn. You learn every time you get on that floor. This game will humble you. Baseball may be the most humbling game there is. Any of y'all ever swung a bat? You don't know if it's a curveball, slider, fastball. It's not quite as humbling as that. But this game can humble you. But the good thing about this game is you better move and you better have quick, forgetful memory. And I just thought everything about today was good. The crowd was good. The kids loved it. Our players loved it. I loved our defense. I get a stat sheet, and there's only one thing on there I circle every game. What did we allow them to shoot from the field? It's the only thing I care about. Can't tell you who had what stats until after the game, and somebody go, God, Coach, she was so close to getting 10 rebounds. God, okay? All I want to see is how we guarded. And that mattered to me at the end when Elisa got that offensive board. That's a kid that just got in the game. She's a freshman. She's learning. She went to the offensive board, and she was rewarded. That matters to me. It shows me the kind of kid she is.
Almost 2-1 assisted turnovers, and then forcing them to 24 turnovers as well. Just sharing the ball and doing it right at the other end.
One of the ways, or not ways, but one of the things I put on the board prior to the game was I want to see us grow, and a part of that is sharing the basketball. Sharing the basketball. All of them can score. There's not anybody on my team that can't score the ball. But you can't all touch the ball and let me shoot. You got to have assists. You got to have rebounding. You got to have steals. You got to defend. And it's amazing what can be accomplished when no one cares who receives the credit. And that's what we're going to try to be about.
Kim, it certainly hadn't been bad, but overall, are you getting the offensive flow from Alexis having to play the point that you want to have?
What you're recognizing is you think Alexis is just not really playing good. Alexis is fine. Alexis is missing some chippies. She knows it, but you don't even discuss it. The great ones have those moments. And while it'll bother her internally, just figure out how to give us something else and then she hits that big three. Remember, she hit that big three in front of us. She could have thrown it to Samaya. She shot the three, and then you finally saw her just do that. She needed something like that to happen for her. She didn't pout. She didn't quit playing hard. But I know we, to whom much is given, much is expected, and we expect so much from her. I think actually Poa will help Alexis not have to play the point the entire time, and it will allow her just to go play freely. When you're at the point, you got to be the coach on the floor. You got to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. You got to make sure, what we're running. If you can move her over to the off guard with Poa's continuing to develop, it will relax her more. But she's fine.
For either player, can you just about getting to the 100-point mark again? And it was through defense and converting on the offensive end. It wasn't just a sloppy play.
What's the question?
Getting to 100 points again for the fourth straight game, something that's never been done before.
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to hit 100 on opponents. I think we were just really locked in on the defensive end. We didn't really care about, let's hit 100 every game. It's just improving each game and each possession. So I think that's what really mattered.
Look at Lex's stat line, Scott. It's pretty impressive, and we're sitting here worrying about if she's playing, not the typical Alexis, but when you look at her stat line, she shot 50% from the field. She's perfect from the three-point line. She didn't get to the foul line, which is unusual. But the only thing I would see on there that would bother me as a coach is she had 4 turnovers. That's not typical. But I understand where you're coming from because you watched her all year, but Alexis really is fine. She just, she may look around and go, ooh, I got a lot of weapons around me.
You're winning by a million every game, so I can ask you something.
Scott, is that what you reporters do? Y'all just dream up stuff. Y'all just dream up stuff. Clickbait, clickbait. That's my nickname, clickbait.
Kim, early on, did you see the normal level of aggression out of Angel? And it looked like you guys had like a minute or so conversation there. I'm assuming you maybe had challenged her in that moment. And then
That moment was I took her out of the game in the second half because she's cherry picking instead of going down there and rebounding the ball. And I think she got my message. She quit cherry picking and she got down there and do what you do best. So that was the moment. She's a specimen down there. What you going to do with her? You don't know if she's going left. You don't know if she's going right. She's going to get her own miss. I've only coached one other kid in my career, and she was much smaller at the post, an undersized post that could get her own misses better than anybody. She stayed with the play. And Angel does that. So that was the teaching moment. I took a couple of the other ones out, teaching moments. I think I took Alexis out. I had said something, and she didn't go do it, and it's a teaching moment. I don't know any other way sometimes other than if you take them out, it gets their attention a little more than just saying it to them. But they know they're going back in at some point. It's just a teaching moment.
Jasmine, you got off to a hot start shooting. What does making your first couple shots do for your confidence for the rest of the game? And then, Coach, what does having someone who can shoot the ball like that do for the offense as a whole?
Go ahead, man.
When I make shots early on, yeah, it does build my confidence. I'm on fire, so shoot is shoot. So when I got off to a hot start, it made me have more energy to play defense on the defensive end because I don't want to just be a one-way player. I want to be a two-way player on the defensive end too. So when I was knocking down shots, it gave me another boost of energy to let me get this stop on the other end. So yeah.
Three-point shooting, obviously, in the history of the sport was not the big deal years and years ago. Didn't even have three-point line. So now kids are getting trainers. They're developing the three-point shot, the NBA. I don't know if there's a back-to-the-basket post player anymore in the NBA. So everybody thinks that's the thing to do. I always believe if you're going to win championships, you better, I'm talking about the women's college level, you better have good post play. And good post play allows the great shooters, which Jasmine is, just to relax and knock down some shots. And I've coached some really, really good three-point shooters. Jasmine is one of them. The funny thing about three-point shooting in my career is people tend to say, well, she is a post-oriented coach. What does that mean? I like bigs. I was a point guard. I like my bigs. They make me look good. But people tend to forget one of my players holds the NCAA record for the most threes made in a game. Go look it up, Juicy Landrum. So I can come back at people when they say she doesn't emphasize the three ball. If you can shoot the ball and you can shoot it with great range, what coach in America wouldn't want to coach that? And Jasmine can just shoot it. She has just great touch on the ball, and she's right. She can't shoot a three and make it for us and give up a three on the other end. We have to develop both ends of the floor.
Time for a couple more questions.
Coach, your team has just opened up with these big wins to start off the season. What major factors do you think goes in, every day, practicing, everything? What do you think plays into that?
What you want to do as you build a program, which is what we're doing, we're rebuilding a program to try to go where we used to be at LSU in women's basketball. Your practices need to be harder than the games. And if our practices can be harder and we can push each other and we can make each other better, then when you see those great teams that are more talented than you on that floor, we're used to this. We see this in practice. We're going to give you everything we have. So I don't look at the scores and 100 and all that. I am literally breaking it down on things that we got to do in practice. Last game, we need to work on outlet pass, and we're coming back to the ball too much. We're wasting time doing that. We work on outlet passes. Break it down and make sure you put these individual players in positions to do things that they do pretty darn good, and then it'll make us better. So that's kind of how it is. If you come to our practices, we want them to be tougher than the games.
Final question.
Jasmine, for you, what's it like between yourself, Alexis, and Flage? Obviously, all you guys scored in double digits today. What's it like on the court during a game when you guys are obviously finding that efficiency offensively? Is it a situation where you guys kind of feed off of each other, or how does it work between you guys?
Yeah, I definitely think we feed off each other. All three of us can score the ball really well. It's nice to know that I have, other teammates that can score the ball too. So, if two of us are, playing really hard on defense here, Lex, go score, Flage, go score, get a bucket. So I just think that, having great teammates around me and, it makes it easier on everybody and the post players. It makes us even a better team.
Let me say this. One of the things when you have a kid that shoots the three effortlessly is when we're in transition. Because we talked about it in the game. She sometimes gets confused. Do I need to go to the rim in a 3-on-2, or do I need to stay out here and shoot the three? I don't have the answer. That's what I told her. I said it's a feel for the game. What do we need at that moment, maybe? Did you just hit 2 threes and are you open right there? Bam, nail it. Or maybe, golly, I should have not given that up. I should have gone onto the rim. That's a good problem to have. And that's what three-point shooters do for you. When you're coming down the floor and you got that ball in your hands and you see that three-point shooter spotting up on that backside, skip that ball over cross court. That's the danger of a three-point shooter. Thank y'all.